The 7 weirdest habits that make you instantly more attractive to men. Most dating advice tells you to wear red lipstick, laugh at his jokes, and play hard to get. But here's the truth. Attraction isn't about following some outdated rulebook. It's about psychology. And when you understand how men's brains actually work, you realize that some of the most attractive behaviors are things you'd never expect. So, in the next 8 minutes, I'm going to share 7 weird habits that will make you instantly more attractive to men. These are based on actual psychological studies. Let's get into it. Habit 1. Talk about your passions, not your dating life. When you're on a date or talking to a guy you like, don't talk about dating. Don't ask about his exes. Don't bring up what you're looking for in a partner. Instead, talk about things you're genuinely passionate about. Your hobbies, your goals, something you're learning, anything that makes your eyes light up. Here's why this works. When you talk about your passions, you become animated. You stop trying to impress him and start being yourself. And that authenticity is magnetic. Studies show that people are most attractive when they're talking about something they love because their enthusiasm is contagious. Let me give you a perfect example from a movie. In La La Land, Mia is most attractive to Sebastian not when she's trying to impress him, but when she's talking about her passion for acting. In that audition scene near the end, she sings about her aunt who inspired her, and you can see the raw emotion and genuine passion pouring out. That vulnerability and authenticity is what makes her captivating. She's not performing for validation. She's sharing what genuinely moves her. When you talk about your passions instead of focusing on him or the relationship, you signal that you have a full, interesting life outside of dating. You're not waiting for a man to complete you, and men are drawn to women who don't need them, but choose to be with them. Imagine he asks what you did this weekend. Most women would say, oh, nothing much. But if you say, I spent the whole weekend learning sourdough bread, and it was way harder than I expected, but I'm obsessed now, suddenly you're interesting. That excitement makes you attractive. Habit 2. Master the art of strategic silence. Use silence strategically in conversations. Most women feel the need to fill every gap. They're uncomfortable with pauses. But here's the secret. Silence creates tension, and tension creates attraction. When you're comfortable with silence, you signal confidence. You're not anxious or desperate to keep his attention, and that composure is attractive. In that silence, he starts thinking about you. He starts wondering what you're thinking. Here's how to use this. When he says something, pause. Look at him. Maybe smile slightly and let 2 or 3 seconds pass before you respond. That pause creates anticipation and makes whatever you say next feel more important. After you say something meaningful or flirty, don't rush to fill the space. If he gives you a compliment and you say, that's sweet, don't immediately follow it up. Just smile, hold eye contact, and let the moment breathe. Habit 3. Challenge him playfully. Men are not attracted to women who agree with everything they say. They're attracted to women who challenge them. Not in a combative way, but in a playful, intelligent way. When you challenge a man's ideas, you signal that you're not intimidated by him. You're his equal. And that's far more attractive than being agreeable. Think about the dynamic between Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy in Pride and Prejudice. Elizabeth doesn't just nod and agree with Darcy, she challenges him. She calls him out on his arrogance. She debates with him. And that's exactly what makes her irresistible to him. The women who just agreed with everything he said, he barely noticed them. But Elizabeth, who stood her ground and matched his wit, that's who captured his attention completely. Let's say he says, the best way to travel is by car because you have total freedom. Instead of nodding, you playfully challenge him. I don't know, flying is better because you cover way more ground. Plus, road trips sound romantic until you're stuck in traffic for 4 hours. You're not attacking him. You're offering a different perspective, and the conversation becomes more engaging. There's psychology behind this. It's called the misattribution of arousal. When you create a little tension, his brain interprets that stimulation as excitement, and he starts associating you with that feeling. But you have to do this playfully, not aggressively. You're teasing, not criticizing. If you challenge him with a smile and confident body language, it comes across as charming. Habit 4, be mysteriously unavailable. Be mysteriously unavailable sometimes, not in a manipulative way, but genuinely. When he texts you, don't always respond immediately. When he asks you to hang out, sometimes say you already have plans. Because you actually do have plans, you have friends, hobbies, goals, and commitments. Here's why this works. Scarcity increases value. When something is always available, we don't value it as much. When you're always available, you signal that you don't have much going on. But when you're sometimes unavailable, you signal that your time is valuable. This This is about genuinely having a full life. When you're busy pursuing your goals and spending time with friends, you're naturally not always available. And that natural scarcity creates attraction. When you're not always available, he has to think about you more. He has to wonder what you're doing, and that anticipation builds attraction. So stop dropping everything the moment he reaches out. Have your own life, your own schedule. Let him fit into your life, not become your whole life. Habit 5, use the shoulder-to-shoulder position. Instead of always sitting face to face, position yourself shoulder to shoulder. Sit next to him instead of across from him. It sounds simple, but it creates a completely different dynamic. When you're face to face, especially early on, it can feel confrontational or interview-like. But when you're shoulder to shoulder, the pressure drops. It feels more casual, comfortable, and intimate. And in that relaxed state, people open up more. If you're at a bar, sit next to him at the bar instead of across at a table. If you're at a museum, stand beside him while looking at something. If you're watching a movie, sit close enough that your shoulders almost touch. This creates subtle physical intimacy without being too forward. When you're both facing the same direction, your body language naturally starts to sync up, and this unconscious mirroring builds rapport and attraction. Habit 6, show genuine curiosity, then stop talking. Show genuine curiosity about him. Ask questions that go deeper than surface level. Don't just ask what he does for work. Ask why he chose that career. What does he love about it? Get him talking about things he's passionate about. But here's the key. After you ask the question, stop talking. Let him answer fully without interrupting or steering the conversation back to yourself. Just listen. Most people are terrible listeners because they're thinking about what they'll say next. But when you truly listen, you stand out. When someone feels heard, they associate that positive feeling with you. Studies show that good listeners are perceived as more attractive and trustworthy. Being heard is rare, and when someone gives you that gift, you're drawn to them. But your curiosity has to be genuine. You can't fake interest. If you're genuinely curious about his thoughts and experiences, that authenticity comes through, and that's what creates connection. Habit 7, have an unpredictable energy. Be a little unpredictable. Not in a chaotic way, but in a way that keeps him guessing. Most people are predictable. They react the same way to the same situations. But when you're unpredictable, you become interesting. He can't quite figure you out, and that mystery creates attraction. Let's say he expects you to be upset about something, but instead, you laugh it off. Or he expects you to be impressed by something, but you just shrug. These unexpected reactions make him pay more attention because you're not following the script in his head. There's a psychological principle called the uncertainty effect. When the outcome is uncertain, our brains become more engaged. This is why suspenseful movies are captivating. The same thing happens in relationships. When you're a little unpredictable, he stays engaged. But here's the balance. You're not playing mind games. You're just showing different sides of yourself. Maybe you're usually calm, but sometimes you're spontaneous. Maybe you're typically serious, but you have a playful side. These contrasts make you interesting because he's constantly discovering new layers. So to recap, talk about your passions instead of your dating life. Master strategic silence to create tension. Challenge him playfully to spark excitement. Be mysteriously unavailable to increase your value. Use the shoulder-to-shoulder position to build intimacy. Show genuine curiosity and then actually listen. And have an unpredictable energy that keeps him engaged. These 7 habits might seem weird, but they're all rooted in psychology. And when you use them, you don't just become more attractive, you become unforgettable.